unfortunately, it falls to some people at various moments in history to be the proverbial turd in the punch bowl. And I'm thinking right now of Winston Churchill. When Neville Chamberlain, the Prime Minister of England at that time, returned from meeting with Hitler, he had a piece of paper signed by him and Hitler that the English and the Germans would never go to war with each other again. And people were cheering. They were applauding. There, peace in our times. And Churchill took to the floor of Parliament and said, "War is now inevitable. War is now inevitable." He was right, by the way. Churchill was right. Chamberlain was wrong. And we are probably going to be in for a few days of a lot of rejoicing, a deep sigh of relief. But it's now my duty to be that punch bowl item and do the, all right, this is certainly a good hit to the president politically. But let's go over why it's still going to be a huge struggle and why it might not mean that much, okay? And I'll culminate with a discussion about the presumed winner of the West Virginia race and the presumed winner of the Iowa race, both Republicans, both women, very different caliber individuals. All right, back to why this might not be that big a deal. Number one, Obama is still president. The House and the Senate will not have the votes to overturn a presidential veto. So if you've been watching people like Rand Paul, they're saying, we're going to introduce a whole bunch of legislation right away. All right, that's good. If the president vetoes a bill, you have to have 2/3 of the House of Representatives and 2/3 of the U.S. Senate to overturn the president's veto to make something law. The Republicans don't have those votes. Then to have a presidential veto overturned in the U.S. Senate, it's going to require a substantial number of Democrat senators to abandon the president and to vote with the Republicans. That's pretty unlikely. It's just pretty unlikely. All right, so for example, if they vote to repeal Obamacare, well, so what? He's not going to sign it. And when Boehner had the chance to not fund it, John Boehner, the Republican leader of the House, he wouldn't do it. So who knows what it's going to be. All right, number two, he still is going to use, legitimately or illegitimately, Obama still is going to use, legally or illegally, his, or unconstitutionally, I should say, his executive orders. All right? He's already told the world, I'm going to do something regarding amnesty for illegal immigrants after the election. He's told everyone he's going to do it. And this Republican majority in the House and the Senate, what are they going to do about that if he does it? And then, here's number three. The president is going to dig in his heels. And he's going to blame the Republicans for the gridlock. The president is going to say, I'll work with them, but they keep on giving us these pieces of legislation that are not in the interest of the American people. The American people elected me to look out for their interest, not the interest of big money that brought all of these Republicans into power. So the president is just going to create a narrative in which he is still the hero and the Republicans are still the bad guys. Next, his public relation machine and the national press working together are then going to spin the story and keep the narrative going that the Republicans are in fact the bad guys and that the Democrats just failed to get out their vote. Next, the GOP, the Republicans, they're going to set their sights on the presidency, okay? If they control both houses tomorrow morning, they're going to set their sights on the presidency, which means that they're going to be putting enormous pressure on people on the inside to not do or say anything that can be viewed as extreme or as a war on women, like making child killing illegal or defunding Planned Parenthood. They're going to do everything in their power for the Republicans to be mealy-mouthed, mediocre, not controlled by the Tea Party statesmen who deserve a chance to control the House, the Senate, and the presidency again like they did in the days of George W. Bush. That's what they're going to be doing. So this is going to be a part of what cripples us. If the Democrats win and Mitch McConnell wins re-election, well, he's going to be the leader of the Senate. He's going to be the Senate Majority Leader. This man is a squish. Now, if you want to know what a definition politically of squish is, it's the gooey stuff that comes out between your toes when you're taking a walk through a cow pasture. The squish. I just made that up. My wife said, Lane's got to put up a graphic on got to put that definition up on the screen. McConnell did not oppose these radical left-wing, baby-killing, pro-homosexual appointments to the Supreme Court. Okay? Kagan, Sotomayor. McConnell didn't put up any fight, any resistance. He's a squish. A squish is a pillar of jello, politically speaking, all right? He wants the job. And if he wins re-election, because he's in a tough race, he's going to have the job. And then what? Mitch McConnell as the leader of the resistance? Don't make me laugh. Which leads us to the real crisis. We're going to talk about this when we come back. What type of senators are we getting? Look at these two ladies. What type of senators are we getting? One is pro-abortion. One is pro-life. One is probably an American patriot that believes in the values of the Tea Party and the founders of this republic. And the other has total contempt for the Tea Party. What type of senators are we getting? Oh, we're getting Republican senators. Big deal. We've seen what that did for us with John Boehner. I'll be right back. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.